Okay, so we all probably know that two big brands have actually made a return to Greenville that were previously removed, and this is actually Koenigsegg and Lamborghini. But I still have a list of 8 brands that we need to come back in Greenville. Obviously, when these brands do eventually return, they will be fictional counterparts of the real versions, but regardless, it'd still definitely be cool to see them back. Anyways, before we start today's video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe as we are on the road to 15.6k subscribers. It would be greatly appreciated as always. Additionally, make sure to join my Discord server as I actually have filming applications open right now. So for those of you guys who want to participate in some of my videos, that is the easiest way how you guys will be able to do it, and I have some fire video ideas planned for this as well. So for those of you guys who want to have a chance at partaking in those, make sure to do it in my Discord server. All you have to do is go to the applications channel and then you will be able to sign up. The application itself is very easy, so do not worry. But anyways, let's get straight into the video. Alright, so starting off strong here at number 1, we have Chevrolet. Now, as I discussed in one of my previous videos, Chevrolet is actually expected to be replaced by the Durant brand, which based off all the evidence that we do currently have, it does seem that Durant will end up being the new fictional version of Chevrolet, which means that the Chevlon brand will unfortunately be retired most likely. Also, Dogon did actually confirm that he is currently focusing on GM vehicles, and as we all know, Chevrolet is a GM vehicle and is also one of the biggest types of GM vehicles you will find, so it does make a lot of sense for this to become one of the next upcoming brands to be replaced in Greenville. Now, as you guys can probably tell by what I'm driving, the next brand here is actually BMW. Now, BMW was easily one of the saddest car removals in Greenville, because although they aren't fully removed and you can still drive them if you owned them previously to their removal, it still sucks that you can no longer actually buy new BMWs from the dealership. But considering how much of a loved brand BMW actually was in Greenville while it was still in the game, it's definitely not a far-fetched idea to think that BMW will be coming back to the game sometime soon in the future. And even though we may not see it back for the next couple of months, I definitely do see it returning. But let me know what you guys think about it. Now, the next one here is actually a brand that I personally really want to see come back to Greenville, and this is actually Honda. As we all know, Honda was recently permanently removed from the game, which means that even if you owned Hondas before they were removed, they were also removed from your inventory, which honestly sucked to see. Obviously, Greenville can't do anything about it, but Honda was definitely one of my favorite brands in game, and they were actually starting to make really good Honda vehicles as well. Now, the thing is that we haven't actually yet gotten any real news on fictional Hondas coming back to the game, but once again, considering how big of a brand Honda actually was, and how big of a brand it was actually becoming in Greenville, I definitely would not be surprised to see it come back. However, I do feel like Honda is going to take a bit longer to return than the other brands, mainly because there were a lot of other brands out there in Greenville that were a lot more affected. Now, the next one admittedly isn't really that big of a brand in Greenville, or at least wasn't that big of a brand in Greenville, but this is actually Rolls-Royce. Now, just like some of the other car brands that were removed, people who did own Rolls-Royces before they got removed could actually keep them. However, you can no longer purchase them from the dealership. Now, the thing with Rolls-Royce vehicles is that they weren't really seen that often in Greenville, to be completely honest. And although they definitely did have a pretty good fan base behind them, there just weren't many of them in-game. And since they are definitely higher in vehicles, and were definitely higher in vehicles in Greenville as well, a good chunk of the player base didn't actually even purchase them. So unfortunately, this does lead me to believe that Rolls-Royce likely won't come back for a while either, mainly just because of the exclusivity of them. And I don't really think Greenville, especially for right now, wants to waste their time making brands for cars that a lot of people won't even be able to buy. But once again, tell me your guys' thoughts about it, because honestly, no one really knows for sure. Okay, so the next one here is one that has been talked about quite a lot throughout the community as of recent, and this is actually Bugatti. Now, even though we haven't seen any like teasers or anything of what fictional Bugattis may look like in Greenville, at least officially, it is definitely a brand that a lot of people do want to see come back. The only issue is that there was literally only 1 or 2 actual Bugatti vehicles in the game before it was removed, but considering that it was a hypercar brand, and a lot of people love Bugattis as well, I definitely would not be surprised for them to bring it back, even if they were to only fictionalize the Veyron, which was actually the only model that we had in game prior to its removal. It's definitely something to look out for, as this is honestly pretty easily doable in my personal opinion. But if anything, I feel like they're just going to try and get the design to actually look good first, since for a vehicle as expensive as a Bugatti Veyron, or just any Bugatti vehicle in general, they actually want to make sure it looks good before they release it, as people aren't going to be spending like $1 to $2 million in game on a car that doesn't look good. Now, next up here is honestly a smaller brand that a lot of people kind of stopped talking about right after it was removed, but this is actually Lexus. Now, as we all know, about a month or so ago, Lexus was actually fully removed from Greenville, which means that even people who owned Lexuses before they got removed, you can't actually drive them anymore, which means that even people who owned Lexuses in their inventories actually got them removed, which was definitely an unfortunate thing to see, since there were definitely some cool Lexuses out there, like the LFA, for example. And plus, the LFA was literally just remodeled basically by the time it was removed, so it was honestly very unfortunate. But that actually links me into my next brand, and that is actually Toyota, which I personally think they'll bring back before Lexus, since Toyota is actually the parent company for Lexus, so it probably does make more sense for them to bring that back first. As we all know, Toyota has pretty iconic cars like the Supra, the RAV4, and more stuff like that, so this was also a very hard one to see go, and I honestly would not be surprised if we start seeing some fictional concepts at least very soon, since there were also quite a wide variety of Toyota vehicles, and it was quite a huge brand to be hit. And for the next one here, it isn't necessarily a car brand, but just cars in general, and this is actually beta vehicles. Now, for those of you guys who don't know, beta vehicles were essentially vehicles that looked like they were crashed up, that we used to have, but I'm guessing guessing it was just due to the brands not wanting to have their cars look tarnished like that, as to why they were removed from Greenville. Now, the interesting thing is that if you actually go to certain jobs like the Hunties Pizza Palace job and actually go to your vehicles, you'll actually get these preset vehicles right here. And one of the cars that you actually get is technically a beater vehicle. As you guys can see, it has a dent there and has scratches and stuff. Also around the body as well, it has a ton of scratches. But apart from these specific job vehicles, you really won't find them anymore. And at least in the dealership, I don't think there are any left on sale, which is so unfortunate to see. And I'd really love to see beater cars make a return with some new fictional car trims, as this is definitely something very possible for them to do, as they can literally put beater trims on any of the new fictional cars that they added. But let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below. Anyways though, let me know what you guys think about today's video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. It would be greatly appreciated. Also, make sure to join my Discord server where I am doing filming applications. I have some fire video ideas planned, so if you guys want to have a chance in participating in those, make sure to go ahead and do that. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one.